Nigel, this week saw the launch of Super League's annual round for Tackle the Tough Stuff, looking at players' mental and physical well-being. Talk us through your role here at the Rhinos and how you look after that side of things.
Yeah, well, my role at the Rhinos is player welfare manager, and taking care of the players' well-being, and from first team squad right the way through to academy scholarship, and now women's and PDRL that we've got now, and all the teams that we've got in the club.
And it's a huge part of the club structure as well, is it now, in terms of that support for the players?
Yeah, and it's not just, you know, the key players at the top in the Super League squad. It's all the way down that we try at the club to look after the well-being of everybody that's involved in the club, and that expands even to club staff.
And people probably think of mental health, but a big part of it is that transitioning, whether it's from school to going into employment, being a rugby player, or the other end of the scale, players coming to retirement either through injury or just the end of their career. There must be so many different things you have to deal with.
Yeah, and I think that's the toughest message to get over to players, that, you know, there's life after playing, and they've got to get to a transition road for that, and a journey to prepare for that. I don't know many 40-year-old Super League players, and, you know, I often say to players, you know, what are you going to do for the next 28, 30 years, even if you played it till you're 40. You know, there's a long time when finishing playing that you've got to do something and have that purpose. Having and creating opportunities where they can get some education and get some training for jobs and careers after is really imperative, really.
You've been involved in this welfare work for a long time now, and a number of clubs. Have you seen how it's grown over the time?
Oh, it's grown massively, and I think the biggest transition has been when Rugby League Cares came on board and grabbed it by the scruff of the neck and really started to put some substance within the welfare programme. I think the welfare programme now through Rugby League Cares, you know, creates so many opportunities for the players. In particular, you know, what we've just been speaking about earlier of training for the future. These great education grants and training grants that the players can get from Rugby League Cares.
And obviously everyone will be aware of the way we have physios and masseurs and doctors look after the physical health of the players, but it's just as important to look after their mental health.
Yeah, it is, and it's you know, it's getting regular check-ins with the players to make sure they're all right, and getting that questioning right to make sure that we're getting the right information from the players, and making sure that they're okay mentally as well. It's an open policy that, you know, within the squad now, that we've got an open door. If people's got any issues, that no matter how small they think or large they are, come and see me, and we can start and work on them and find a solution.
Do you find players these days have got better at that? I mean, there was obviously a machismo around talking about your feelings, and particularly when people were dealing with stuff they tried to bottle it up in the past. Are they a bit more open to talk about it now?
A lot more, yeah. Over the years that I've been involved, a lot more. They will share things more. I think what's really good as well, in particular at this club, you know, we've got a real safe environment here where players can share what they feel, and that really works. You know, when we get that safe environment and players can talk to each other as well, that's really good, because they solve a lot of their own problems out, because some players have been through the same experiences and they help each other.
And it's the Tackle the Tough Stuff round for Super League. How important is it as a sport? I mean, all this great work's going on, and the players are being well looked after. But actually talk about it publicly, so that fans or observers of Super League can maybe learn from what the players are able to do now.
Yeah, I think it's really important. It's you know, tackle it tough. You know, it's same for everybody. Everybody has their issues. You know, I often say to the players, you know, we're 365 days in the year, and they all can't be good. So what we're going to do when it's not so good, we need to talk about that, and we need to tackle those issues that we're having some problems with. So yeah, the round is fantastic.